unprofessionalism would catch up to him. There's no way in hell that he would make 130. He moved up to, he was at 26 at one point, then he was at 30, and then he was at 35, and he couldn't hold the weight for 35 realistically, for this last fight with Yoyokas Gamboa. I think his unprofessionalism would catch up with him, and I don't think he'll be able to make the weight for that fight if they were to compete at 130 even.
Okay. Assuming they do fight, who would you like to fight at lightweight, assuming that they fight next?
If they were to fight next, who would I want to fight? I want the winner. I want the winner. I want the winner of whoever competes. And if I can't, I don't want to be fighting just anybody. These guys with no names, these taxi cab drivers, and etc. that some of these guys have been competing against. I want someone that's in the upper echelon. I need someone in the top five or any one of these champions.
Those are the words of Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. did say something that made a lot of sense. He said that Gervonta Tank Davis may not fight Leo Santa Cruz. And he definitely won't fight him at 130 because he couldn't make 130 when he was there, let alone 135 when he had problems making 135. That's a very bad sign. On top of the lack of competition that he's fighting and the things that he's involving himself in. Again, Gary Russell Jr., you don't see him beating up his spouses or his exes or anything like that. You see him wanting to fight the best. I think Gary Russell Jr.'s problem is he's on the wrong side of the street, honestly. I think his problem is the fact that he wants or doesn't want to play ball and just go through the assembly line for way of things that they do over there. Like he explained, he doesn't want to fight taxi cab drivers or these no-name fighters that no one ever heard of, that's not even in the top 10. He wants the top 5 at least, or give him the winner if this fight happens between Gervonta Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz. And of course, he called Leo Santa Cruz out. Al Haymon, of course, was the reason why Leo Santa Cruz, which was the other champion at that weight class, was able to duck Gary Russell Jr. after Gary Russell Jr. pretty much told Leo Santa Cruz's dad, like, hey, I want your son. Stop ducking me. Don't duck me, son. He's like the new Keith Thurman of old. That's what Gary Russell Jr. reminds me of. But what happened with Keith Thurman? He could not get those fights either. And then when he did get some fights, he got complacent. Think about it. Keith Thurman fought Danny Garcia. He fought Sean Porter. After that, boom, nothing. Before that, he wanted to fight Paulo Malignaggi, Amir Khan. He wanted to fight Floyd. He wanted to fight everybody. Manny, of course, and he got the Manny fight years after. But he did get that fight. Errol Spence wanted to fight him. He didn't want that fight. He was injured. No, I'm injured. You know what I mean? But Gary Russell Jr. is a guy, he's pretty much the Malcolm X of the Elijah Muhammad movement, honestly. If this was a movement, if Al Haymon, if this whole federation was a movement, Gary Russell Jr. would be Malcolm X. Why? Because they're pretty much looking at him as that black sheep, as that person that, no, you don't talk against Brother Al. Brother Al will punish you if you do. But it's true. Look at Gervonta Tank Davis. He got himself in a situation where it's hard for him to get himself out of, because now it's up to someone else. It's not up to Al Haymon. It's not up to Leonard Ellerby. It's not those guys no more. You're involved with other guys now in another situation. Okay? He put himself there by putting himself on camera, doing the things that he probably do behind doors, not condoning it, people. So don't sit here and say, oh, you're condoning beating women. I'm not. I'm just saying how stupid that was, and you have to have a certain type of intelligence or low intelligence to do something like that in public, knowing that, hey, I have 2 million Instagram followers, so people don't know who I am. Of course they know who you are. You follow Floyd around in Floyd's shadow. They know who you are. They know what Floyd done. And Gary Russell Jr. was just making it known, but to me, if you ask me, it's just a big ball of karma. Why? Because Gary Russell Jr. wanted the fights that Gervonta Tank Davis is getting. But Gervonta Tank Davis is a much bigger guy with a much bigger advantage, people. Gary Russell Jr. just wants to fight the best in his own. And if he can't fight the best in his own, he'll move up. And they still don't want to help him. Why? Because he's going against the trend. He's going against the way of them formating money for themselves. That's what he's doing. Those guys are money grabbers. Gary Russell Jr. is a guy that wants to show his skill. He's another Terrence Crawford, okay? He doesn't want, hey, I don't want these easy fights. What are you doing? Why are we having this conversation? And look, he's the guy that's going to be the resistance, and he's the one that's going to let everybody know about PBC, something that pretty much a lot of us know, except the guys that love Wilder and the PBC Federation and all that, and the people pretend like they're the only fighters on the planet. Okay. Gary Russell Jr. is going to be in a place where either he leaves or they're not going to want him to fight or something's going to happen. But Gervonta Tank Davis is taking himself out of the equation by doing the things that he did. And it's unprofessional. Yes, it is. But it just shows you how the things you give a person and he hasn't earned it. Certain things can happen like this. Complacency, idle time. And I think the idle time for Gervonta Tank Davis, if he was really busy training, he wouldn't be worried about what his child mom's doing in a basketball game, okay? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Gary Russell Jr. warning Gervonta Tank Davis about unprofessionalism. I will leave the link below. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.